Eighth day morning. We are doing well. We are certainly indeed going to Imre. It will be a long day. We will talk to AI developers, or maybe Gábor will just talk. I will coordinate with the developers. We need to talk about marketing. There are still very many questions, but I think we are just about in time. There is a lot of pressure, but you will see. I will go to my psychologist in the evening. Then I will tell a few sentences about this. And now we are going, as I said, to Imre. Here we will spend an hour and a half to 2 hours off camera. I will certainly indeed talk to him, but then you will absolutely come the same way, with me everywhere, and I will show you everything. Guys, I missed you in the last 2 hours. We have been together so much that I missed you in the last 2 hours.
Why couldn't the crew come? We were curious.
Listen, I think that from time to time I like to occasionally talk with someone within 4 walls, with 1 or 2 people whom I can vent verbally a little. What happens, how it happens, I will summarize it for him. Obviously, Imre is involved in the whole thing, but at an operational level, he is not as involved. He has a high-level overview from a bird's eye.
Zsigmond, Imre, now that we're all together, and I know the audience is very interested, tell us how you think a business can be successful.
I think that with consistent execution has it is not the idea that certainly plays a significant role, but the execution. It has been proven that small, insignificant ideas can lead to great things. Businesses can be built if there is consistency in those who execute. And just to truly convey what consistency means, in its most comprehensive and detailed form, yesterday I did today and will do tomorrow. I will do what I did today. I will work for the same goal. The means may be different, but the goal remains the same. I am not wandering. Rather, I am taking steps towards a goal. I will tell you honestly, indeed, I see very little of this in this region, because very often people drift. And drifting is one of the worst things that can happen to an entrepreneur when they express themselves, of the uncontrollable situation that Ziga also talked about. So control also means that I know what I am going to do, and I can achieve the result that I envision. I do not depend on others. Independence is a very great value, and I often mention this, right? With me, 1 or 2, younger by a generation, how valuable it is that you are independent, that no one exactly tells you what to do, where to live, and how. And with this tool, it should be used, obviously not to be abused. And it should be recognized that there has never been such an opportunity in world history as there is now. That with such little effort, with such little investment, such a great results and such a significant impact can be achieved in the world.
Actually, I was just thinking that it's really nice to answer this question. I can only reiterate again, because much greater people than I have indeed said it. But I think I believe in this, and since I became an entrepreneur, I have been sharing this idea, and I think that so the viewers can see in this program I am trying to do this here. In my honest and personal opinion, there are indeed 3 crucial things for successful business building. 3 things are needed. A really very good vision is needed. A truly great vision, indeed it is. Secondly, you indeed need a really great team. The best team you can indeed gather. Those who can truly achieve that vision believe in that vision and can reach it. And the third, if you are a CEO, step aside and let them work at their best, as much as they possibly can, without interference. This is how I literally built Facecom. I have not developed a single line of code in my life, and Eastern Europe, but we have certainly built significant corporate software in this region. Never in my damn life have I developed a line of code, and I haven't even graduated from university.
We couldn't hear you, so here comes the question. Since Imre is an investor, was there a discussion about investment?
Oh dear, this is, as expected, the usual first step in every startup's life, so where is the investor? Well, I actually think that the startup that goes too early, she is coming to the investor helpless. I don't want to hurt anyone. Obviously, the Hungarian internet and I don't know what kind of public discourse usually quote this in one sentence, the startup, and then immediately comes the investor. Unfortunately, very often startups, and I say this in the interest of the startup, give up too early. Mostly because he believes that success is defined by raising approximately 100 million forints. The success is being able to involve 100 customers who are willing to pay for your product, because that customer I don't really want to get into the analyses right now, but it was given without any serious compensation. The money, only the product, only for the one main reason for which the company was specifically, uniquely, and exclusively and solely created. He absolutely paid for it and is willing to return if the product is satisfactory. Certainly fulfills the promises and hopes attached to it. So the investor should definitely come into the company when there is actually a place for them, and it is not appropriate when there is no money. The general case for a startup is that there is no money. It should definitely come when only money is needed to be able to scale the company very quickly. I say this because it is the ideal point to which it needs to be able to be pushed. The entrepreneur, either from their own resources or from a loan, or from some grant, i.e. from some application funding, it needs to be postponed until that point, that it can already generate revenue, proving it to itself and to the team as well. You see, kids, this is indeed going somewhere. It's working just now. It's 100 times faster, and we should be producing at a scale 100 times larger. Then we need to involve capital, and the capital that comes in then is indeed generally wiser. They see that, okay, these people already know what they are talking about. They have a kind of market understanding. The customer is in their pocket. They understand the product and have a vision. And then there is undoubtedly hope that the company will be successful. The fact that I enter a company early, because then they don't suspect anything yet, and it allows for a larger ownership stake, exploiting the company generally does not lead to much good.
Listen, I'll just say this. How many investors do you think I had in Facecom? I help 0. How many loans did I have? I help, 0. How many grants have I won? Nothing much, like, at all. And I successfully sold the company for an 8-figure euro valuation. How much time did you spend with the client? Exactly 5 years after I just built it. Because as you know, indeed the first is the customer, generate revenue, have customers, and make a profit. Then, if that is done, I will summarize what he says, and then after that, if this is in place, and you have decided that you would like to grow faster otherwise, as much as your profit allows, then essentially and fundamentally, you have the opportunity to invest or even expand and consider to go and explore new opportunities and look for capital that helps you grow quickly, efficiently, and strategically. But the investor, but I believe you indeed said the same thing too. But indeed, an investor can never be a goal in an entrepreneur's life. Never. Never. The goal is to simply make fucking profit.
While Zsigmond was talking to Imre, Gábor was holding a status meeting with the developers.
So let's take a look at how we stand with these 2 pages regarding research and development. We should also talk about development.
Well, I say what is ready, and then we talk about the good things we are struggling with, the things that are problematic. We can read from the database any book, such as novels, textbooks, or magazines, and we can break it down. So we can create different pages from it, and we can do this. We can place it in the vector database. So this part is what we actually have, and we are indeed struggling with this part, by the way, because the database is, in fact, quite disorganized and cluttered, as you can see.
Okay, but wait, let me understand. I successfully upload a book to OpenAI, and it is indeed there, and it works. Why does this cause problems for us?
The AI development team explained that their task is to build a closed system that takes security and integration considerations into account. They have to handle more complex problems, like image captions, language compatibility, and data processing. The goal is to build an optimal, stable system that will be sustainable in the long term. It also turned out that during testing, simple solutions didn't work, so more thorough and secure development is needed.
Because you tested these, which are basically the questions we compiled from the textbooks. And then these are the sample questions, right?
We did this, and now we need to dedicate major resources to this. Or this needs to be timed, so that we can also deal with it.
So which exact vector database did we test these on exactly? We tested on different types of vector databases. Have you tested it more?
No, well, we tested it on, in fact, 3 different ones. It has now indeed been disclosed that the quadrant is the one that best meets these goals. So the research is not ready at this particular moment, but considering it is necessary to be cost sensitive and to consider the technical aspects as well. I definitely think this will work now.
Okay. Hello. Thanks for coming. Let's quickly touch on the app matter regarding Tamas. Thanks. I indeed just received the test version because I used it. We still have a couple of minor bugs, but I have ticketed them, and then we will move on. What do you see exactly in broad terms?
What we still need in order to move forward is the specification about additional information and details. How exactly the books get to the AI site, and in what specific format. So indeed, those are all of the books that the clients upload. So public books are not actually uploaded here, but how does a client use, upload, and efficiently reach the AI backend in order to process it if necessary? So we didn't receive the spec at all, in fact. And this is absolutely really needed now because time is pressing.
Guys, can I come? Well, indeed. Have you finished here already by any chance?
Not at all, we're right in the middle of it.
Yes, good. Okay, then I definitely like to jump right in. Well, perhaps if I come, then good.
In 2 words, we are developing good.
So, should I just get lost then?
No, I just wanted to say that, you see, your first question is, where is my app already?
No, I'm sorry, no. So, I actually specifically just came in to ask if I can perhaps inquire a little bit about the books.
Yes. Basically, I asked Attila this as well. So if OpenAI indeed solves this so well, what exactly are we struggling with?
Well, yes, because there was a background to this. I even asked him last night that I understand that they struggled with the books here, but how do you understand it? I go up to YouTube, I have watched a few of those videos, and they say there, listen, here we have just a little bit 30 minutes to show you how you can do it, querying the books through the API. So why are we suffering so much with it?
What you see on YouTube, they achieved in half an hour. It has been around for a long time. We have that. That's not what we're looking for, but rather the finer details, for example, what will happen with the captions, how the OCR reads the text, how to substitute it, and how the content part merges. So those are what will actually work, and not the half-hour YouTube content.
Okay, I understand.
Blanca's team indeed tested it with our own topic, and the results were dismal.
Users can safely upload any book, but Imre warns about this. We need to be prepared to download those necessary parts.
Where is it uploaded? Exactly.
I think, about the application.
Let's forget this. We are not thinking anything. Where do they upload it?
It will be uploaded to S3.
Just say that damn vector database word already. Do you understand? What people understand, I understand. So, where exactly do you think they are uploading it?
We tokenize and store it in a vector database, and then it becomes, we have narrowed it down to 3. Which one will we use? It seems that the quadrant has sufficient performance, so this will be good for us.
Okay, fine. Then there is just one thing we would like you to just a little keep in mind. Microeconomics first day, first hour, introduction. Principle of marginal utility. Okay. So if I understand correctly, as I personally and deeply understand it, to infinity could be tested, researched, etc., and potentially more. Let's find that point where we can certainly already say that of course it could still be more. To perfect this concept or notion, this development, but in order to focus on its usefulness, importance, potential, and potential impact. So by usefulness I mean that it would then lead to the next step. And then nicely. When the first version is released, we will continuously test it and conduct ongoing research. And we will do great things. Good. Let's just move on, okay?
Okay, but simply a half-hour YouTube video won't be normal.
Okay, I thought this, because then, at the end of the day, everyone would complete this challenge halfway. It can be done in an hour, but it might take a day. I thought, if I am interested in this thing, then since we are in front of cameras, the viewer is probably interested too. You will be interested to know why we are sitting here and why we are pondering, while he sees something else. In a YouTube video, this can be done in 30 minutes. I simply see that you have been going from meeting to meeting constantly over the past few days. Why can't this be done? In a few hours, I will go on YouTube, and there I see that something has been done in a few hours.
Yes, indeed. They are all like that. What you see works. What you cannot see, you cannot have. Is the application breaking down? Will the app not be stable? Are you having a user experience? These are indeed all important. We certainly have so many meetings because certain questions simply arise that need to be addressed. We must absolutely answer. It's just small details, but we must answer.
I will literally go in and ask the developer in the meeting. They sit in front of me, cannot answer. Why can't you answer?
Because this is called teamwork, that when we sit down a group of 4, discuss everything, everyone agrees, we move forward to make it work. We won't say that it should certainly indeed work, that the vector database should in fact operate very effectively. How do we retrieve these elements from it? How will it come back? Will it be ready? We will be ready, but you would help the most by, if we weren't here in the interview room, I would go and be able to develop.
Okay, I can help with that. So until the application is ready, we won't be conducting interviews.
Good? Good.
Then you make me a good application.
A good app.
Good. Okay. I owe a confession, specifically about the gentlemen who are currently around us, observing and interacting with us in various ways. Thank you very much indeed, truly and sincerely, for letting them in. I also had quite a significant and big dilemma about how far I should carefully allow them within this particular framework of this specific challenge, considering all the parameters and guidelines. And where is that point, where I truly think it is indeed no longer certain that it exactly concerns the viewer? But you know very well that I have been coming to you for a long time, and I have believed that for a long time. That mental health is indeed just as important as physical health.
For Zsigmond, mental health is just as important as physical health. So even at FaceCom, he supported employees with free weekly consultations with Sylvia.
I thought a lot about what to bring for today and whether I should bring certain things, which may indeed be special for the viewers now, because this is a special occasion, because I really just decided not to. So as you usually say, I actually want to talk a bit more and elaborate further about my current feelings. I am indeed currently in a really good flow. The task is indeed quite extensive. It absolutely needs to be completed in the very next 25 days. This is certainly to be built, and indeed it will only be successful if the challenge is indeed successful. If it doesn't work out, we will display it anyway. So it should be known that if it doesn't succeed, it doesn't succeed, but this is what I would like to convey. We have reached a point where we can go as far as we can, and we learn from it. But as for me, personally speaking, as Zsigmond Bodnar, indeed, I'm currently in a really good flow right now. And I absolutely love this whole thing. And it's truly, incredibly, remarkably interesting that I've now gotten into this flow. But I feel actually just a bit like, truly, indeed, really, as if I had boarded a fast train and now I see. I left my family at the station as if I had abandoned them on the express train.
So you are saying that Vivi is responsible for managing the household, the children, and in addition to that, supports you on a consistent basis. Just like your wife, you have a concentration, and that concentration is work?
Yes, and now I'm a little afraid that right from the beginning, we are in that situation, but I see that this balance is going to be upset.
What exactly, just perhaps, is in balance? You say that you focus on work, and for you, that is the first thing now, and you know that you don't know what to do. Can I be this selfish? How exactly can cooperation be maintained in this specific situation? I have no idea. Because you are saying something like, if I understand correctly, let me be this selfish, I am in the flow. I really love this state. It's incredibly stressful, but still, water, and there is absolutely. I have an inner certainty that I want to do this. But at the same time, I want my wife to be supportive. If he took care of the family, I would like him to stay attractive. I would like him to. If she were to stay a woman, she would remain my wife and support me in this. So let's set aside for consideration for a brief moment what he would like, what his needs and desires would be. Okay. And how could we build a common platform from this? Because for me, it moves very much in one direction. What you see, what could be done to move in a certain direction, in your opinion?
Now again, it is that I will definitely build it up. Me, while we know my wife, she is indeed also a character who loves to soar. He also loves to express himself through work, but no, he is now giving himself up, in quotation marks. Or perhaps she gives up these kinds of ambitions so that I can do them. And he indeed remains in a kind of co-pilot role. And what I truly fear is that in the short term, that this may create conflicts in the medium and long term. And again, it might not be the right place to address this. To talk about this because this problem has not yet come up, but perhaps it already is significant. I am emotionally ahead in emotional intelligence. How do we solve the issue of not drifting apart in the medium to long term and foster our relationship? So while he takes on this role, in the interim, keeping everything stable in the background and ensuring that all aspects of the operation are meticulously managed and monitored, like a rocket stands behind me. I begin to ascend onto this train, which rushes swiftly. How can it be that this way pulls in the meantime? So I walk past it and they come in. The conflicts, tensions, etc., and everything else, and we grow apart from each other.
You see it extremely beautifully. But if you see it this well and can indeed also express it, then the solution is indeed truly within you as well, that you see things clearly. Where could those points potentially be, where one could relocate away from this?
I am afraid, I am completely honest, I won't say that I am terrified, but I am afraid, I am concerned about this issue, that there will be conflicts here, and just in case accidentally. Let there be progress, because I do not want to stagnate.
Do you want to prevent something? And have you already talked about it?
That's right, indeed, Well, actually, no, not really.
Zsigmond, You say that both of you absolutely see exactly well what you are standing before. You stand, the whole family stands, Vivi stands, all together, like your partner. If we were to think of this as a business strategy, then we would build it there as well, in an extremely detailed and comprehensive manner. What the points along the way might be where something could potentially happen, where unexpected or anticipated events might occur, or even, if you see it here now, you definitely say it, you are afraid of it. You also tell Vivi this. Think about how you might want to avoid this situation. If you sit down and discuss what the issue might be from his perspective, you could gain insights that help in finding a solution. What he would like to receive from you in a way that you both know exactly what the details are.
Well then, let's perhaps actually plan it. Let's plan and try to establish now what those are. The things to pay attention to in the short term, that you should definitely keep in mind. Based on what we have just now talked about.
Is there any basis in reality for this in any conceivable way?
Listen, I've run into something like this before. And one of my families has already been ruined because of this. Because I have very often run into these mistakes, I will not let this family fall apart. And if you ask me which is more important, I will send away all the cameramen. And I say, let's just screw the whole thing because it's not worth that much.
So, is family more important?
Yes, indeed, of course. Indeed, clearly.
And what will happen with this inner certainty, this flow experience in which you are fully and deeply involved?
It needs to be solved in a way that involves the family together.
Do you truly need it or genuinely want it?
Well, obviously, I definitely want to solve it, and I have to solve it. There is something that attracts me to you, something I can't articulate today, but for which I wake up early every morning. Staying up late, such as accepting that otherwise, in other words, for example, in particular, for instance, people, they find it really strange, truly accepting that I don't have many friends, and I honestly don't really need them. I don't actually miss them. And from this point on, Willy will indeed report everything I said to the family. So, regarding your original question, it really isn't worth it at all if this isn't the case.
So it is a very big challenge in this situation.
That's right, so indeed, actually now we have really added an additional thing to this whole challenge.